along in this session. So it's going to be really important that you capture your notes here. There are some examples already there for you, just in case you missed something, but you want to try and add additional things that you're hearing so you can have a really well built out note section. Stacey, anything to add?
Nope, nailed it. I'm going to be showing some pictures on the Nearpod while she reads, if you want to reference those at all to get sort of a visual.
All right, awesome. So let's get started. We are starting at the beginning. This is a day in the life of a usual program lead at collegiate academies. Remember, you're pulling out key elements as you hear them. So it's a Monday in November. The day is starting at 7:30. We have a REACH team meeting about today's goals at the very start of the day. The teachers in special education are focusing on specifically attendance and GPA. In the circle, we do a turn and talk with our partners and commit to one concrete action step that we're going to take to ensure that we're meeting these team goals. I asked 2 teachers to share their action steps aloud. The math teacher commits to completing attendance calls for the program by 8:45, and the transition teacher commits to auditing her grade book during her planning period to determine what skills she needs to reteach based on the data in the grade book. I remind the team that I'm going to conduct observations throughout the day, and I'm looking for 100% of students on track and engaged with the material. So as I head up to my classroom, I'm reviewing the data from our program from the last week in School Runner. We had 86% average attendance, 40% of students are at a 3.0 or higher, 80% of the students received their special or related service provider minutes last week, and 50% of students had a communication log with their family. So I'm going to schedule then, as a result, meetings with the related service providers and the case managers for students, because we need to have compensatory plans drawn up for the minutes that students had missed and were not given. I'm going to schedule those times with the related RSPs, and we're going to come up with a schedule to ensure that for the rest of the school year, students are going to be able to get the minutes that they're legally required to have. So also a 10th grade teacher, English teacher who teaches general education texted me, and she asked me to collaborate on 2 of the students who are in the REACH program or in general education classes. They are specifically in a 10th grade general education English class. The teacher's not sure about what interventions might be needed so that scholars are successful in her classroom. So I pull up their data on and review the incidents and attendance records and grades. I observe those students in class, staying for at least 15 minutes, observing the interactions that they're having with peers and their engagement in the content. I'm looking at their writing responses during the independent practice, and I'm asking the teacher follow-up questions during that independent practice. At the end, I'm going to send an email to the teacher listing 2 to 3 accommodations that can be given that day in the class, so that she can ensure that students are going to be able to access the content that she is presenting. All right. In this image right here, you get to see a little picture of a live coaching that's going on. This is our REACH math teacher and our DSS, our director of student support.
Okay, thanks.
Literally,
let me know if you
this
need
is how
else.
we do coaching. You are in the room with them. You're giving live feedback in the moment so that we can ensure that the rooms are 100% and that everyone is getting what they need. During these observations, we have a coaching binder. So I'm going to flip to action steps that we had for that teacher for last week. Circulation and narration are key actions that all teachers need to take in order to reach 100% of students on track. So we step into the classroom for this REACH math class and observe. We see that students are using the Zern math curriculum. There's 2 stations. 5 students are working on developmental skills on a computer, and 5 are receiving small group instruction from a teacher using whiteboards and manipulatives. 7 out of 10 students are on track and engaged. A few others have their heads down. I'm going to point out to her the students that are not engaged, and the teacher will need to circulate to them immediately and re-engage them in the content. After that quick check-in, students are back on track. The 3rd student asks for a reset. So they go to the sensory corner in that room where they can have a moment with a 5-minute timer, reset themselves, and come back and rejoin the class and rejoin the content. The teacher is going to be positively narrating this entire time around student engagement. I'm going to be validating her from the corner as well, and now making sure she knows that her validations are on point and reflecting what is going on in the classroom. I'm going to make sure that I record the data from the observation that I had from today in the binder so that I can make sure the teacher can track their own growth in this binder as well. But I will send her a feedback email so that she will know what things she did well and where she needs to push for her next class period. At this point, it's about 9:50, so my class is about to start. We're going to be focusing on identifying and naming examples of imagery and poetry. So I know that I need to get ready for my speech therapist to come into the class. She will be pulling students in a small group while I'm teaching whole group. While she will be focusing on fluency, we are going to be focusing on reading comprehension and imagery.